Okay, Shannon, do you know, we were
reconciled.
Bank reconciled. Okay, so here's something that's kind of interesting, okay? We have a couple different little things that were going on with banks. I'm going to go back to the deposit home page because this is where we were at, okay? Deposit home, and we didn't verify those, but let's go ahead and widen our search out just a little bit so we can get a couple more pieces of the puzzle. Get some more pieces. We verified a whole bunch more pieces. This is your A date, this is your B date, and maybe I'll just kind of put that on there. Your A, that's your Adilas date, and your B date, when did the bank see it? I wouldn't even worry about this. This is actually an additional lock to make it so that anybody who has lower permissions doesn't get to see it. I would skip it. So the thing that Joe wanted to know is how do I reconcile? Let's call that the R date, okay? So technically I'm kind of reconciling as soon as I'm verifying, okay? But if you wanted to literally wrap it all up in so a perfect reconciliation, what you would need to do is you would actually need to go to a different spot. Okay? Does that make sense how this is the Adilas date, this is the bank date, and now if I really want to finally reconcile it, I have to get it to this level. The bank has to see it before I can even physically say, yes, let's reconcile everything all together. If you have the permissions, you'll actually have a little link, reconcile bank. Click. Click here. Tell it which bank, you tell it the date range you're looking for, and this is according to verified dates. So this is a B date, okay? This is according to B dates, the verified dates. You then say get the report. And depending on what's going on, like right now, we don't have a whole lot. Let's expand it a little bit. Just pretend, normally you're doing monthly, that's what a bank statement is, okay? Let's pretend for a second that we are doing some bank statements. Here's the things that have the A dates, okay, the B dates, and if this is all good and I can go down, I could literally go click, 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 and then eventually I hit save. All of these saves are the exact same, okay? Say I'm looking at what's going on. Yep, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. What it does is it adds another little thing behind the scenes that basically says, cool, I got it. So if we actually click the history on this little thing, it would actually say, hey, I reconciled the bank on this date. That's all it really does. Like the verified date is what's the key importance. But if you want to totally wrap the whole thing up, like instead of leaving anything loose and flapping and you wanted to literally say, this is what the bank looks like, this is what my physical statement looks like, this is what I physically have, you've already been cross-checking, okay? You're checking independent pieces. But if you want to see the whole thing, we call this bank reconciliation. This is, I can match up exactly with what my bank sent me, either online statement, or a physical hard copy and the actual one, okay? So you can see that these are actually different dates and timestamps. I verified it, and then I eventually reconciled it. That's kind of like the A, B, and R dates, if that makes sense, okay? They're not necessarily required. There is a P date as well, but posting, what that does is that literally it's just another lock, okay? So if we drew that little scenario, if you will, like all the different little flex categories, literally what we were doing here is we were kind of saying, what's the A date, what's the B date, what's the reconcile date, and what's the post date. Along with this, we actually have permissions. So we have, here's the basic person who can do a deposit. These next two are actually tied to the admin permission. So only admin users can go here, and this is an absolute lockdown, okay? Water, slush, ice, okay? We're basically slowly freezing this thing over time, okay? So your A date is water, okay? Your B date is slush. We've got some little snowflakes here. And your R date, or your final post date, sorry, is a block of ice, okay? Water, slush, ice. We're slowly freezing it down over time, depending on permissions and locking it down. Those are the different dates that we have for deposit. Same exact thing exists in expenses. Once you get good at it, you're in there, especially if you're doing it each day, because you don't usually have 50 million that are clearing in a day. You have how many? Maybe 10, maybe this, maybe, you know, depending on how much you're paying your bills. If you have a big department, you probably have one person that's their job and goal to watch that bank, okay? They're going to watch it like a hawk. They're going to go in there, they're going to spend half an hour on it or whatever, okay? They're going to be, okay, got it, oh, got it. That's a huge key and piece. If you're just a single person, and like meaning a mom and pop type thing, okay, you're only going to have a deposit when you actually get your money, when you make a sell. You're only going to have your bills when you pay those out. Like literally you have teeny little pieces that are kind of happening. If you're keeping up on this on a fairly daily or every other day or whatever basis, you've already done all your work. You get to the end of the month, you're like, sweet, I'm golden, I'm good to go. Everything matches up perfect. So, yes?
Did you get to the reconciled bank report from banks?
There are many different...
If I was in the map thing, I would hit banks.
Sure. There's actually reconciles from here, and from here. They're all they all play in that little triangle, okay? So I happen to do the one from the deposit homepage that says reconcile.
Okay.
Click, okay? If I was back and I did a different one, say I was under expenses, guess what? I'd look for the same link. Okay, there it is, reconcile bank.
Okay.
Click. Like, literally, you can go from multiple different angles on that, okay? Perfect. Great question.